A lot of things. Art has always had an important part. As long as I can remember, I've always drawn. And then when I finally had a chance to get involved in art, I chose the printing process. And as a practicing artist, it has become important to work on prints, to develop, to see how ideas change. And that becomes a very, very exciting and important thing. I think probably art, more than any other field, you're able to relate inner experiences and ideas in a visual form, and that also helps you get a perspective on what your life is about. And I think that through the printing process, which is different than the other art forms, you work with the plate and you develop and you evolve. You're working with nitric acid eating into the plate, and your ideas come, and one idea will be suggested by another, and you're actually having a dialogue with the nitric acid in the plate. And there's so many things that can happen to the plate that as you're going along, it becomes very, very exciting. Starting my 8th year in Montana, and during that time have taught high school at Central High School and worked at directing Copper Village Museum and Art Center when it first began, and then kind of spun off into the larger community of Montana. And I think that the openness and how things have evolved as needs present themselves is a pretty exciting thing.
I understand that what you're doing now is going to smaller communities and helping people develop their dreams. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, one of my favorite topics. I'm a farm girl from Wisconsin, and I've always treasured my experience of living in the rural community. And when the schools closed in Anaconda, the Montana Arts Council asked if I would work with them, visiting small towns in Montana, basically getting to know the towns. And most of Montana is made up of small towns. And I feel very privileged to have an opportunity to go into towns that most people go through on their way to someplace else. And one thing I do in the community is try to get to know the town and basically help a community dream for its future. What kind of community would you like this to be? What are your resources? What kind of things make you happy? What kind of things will help this to be a better life? And we don't have an opportunity to do that very much. We're so busy living our daily life, that isn't a pun, that we forget that part of this daily living has to be dreaming. And I've been accused of being a dreamer. And I don't think that's such a bad thing, because I've seen dreams actualized. And the problem is sometimes trying to coincide your dreams with other people's dreams. And sometimes people's dreams can be other people's nightmares. You have to figure out how that's going to work. But I'm finding great resources in Montana towns and great hope. I'm really excited about Montana. And when a little town like Fishtail, population 50, and Absaroka and Jordan and Hobson and Utica, all these towns that I visited, have things happening and people wanting things to happen to themselves. And I think without pressuring people at all or programming people, when you start asking people to dream, the arts play an important part, because we're getting to the basic things that are important to people.
How your interests, your art interests fit into your religious community?
Well, on a local level, it's been really very exciting. I live with other nuns here in the house, and they have been most encouraging and most understanding about this art life down in the basement studio that's so different from what most people know about. And I find that this is just really very exciting to have the support from the people I live with and the encouragement of my life as an artist and how this would fit in. I think it's very basic in our community. The arts have always played an important part in our life. And I do have a special gift and a special talent, and my community has always encouraged and helped me in that. And I think how lucky I am to have a studio, have the opportunity to have time now and then to print and to develop as an artist. And I think as I develop as an artist, I develop as a person and as a religious too. I find it all fitting together very beautifully.